also visited the Darkwoods Penitentiary, which hosts more than 1,000 inmates from all over the country. The prison's modern facilities include spacious cells for the inmates. The exceptionally well-staffed hospital is equipped for emergencies, as well as routine health checks. Adjacent to Row 1, the electric chair room is where death sentences are carried out.
Hello, Slashers, Darkcrypt here, and welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I'll be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be discussing one of my favorite games of all time, Manhunt. If you guys don't know what Manhunt is, I'm going to give you guys a brief summary. Manhunt is a survival horror stealth game made by Rockstar, best known for Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. Manhunt is best known for the really graphic kills you can pull off in the games.
What?
I will say the second game is a lot more gory than the first, but among these games, there's some pretty memorable enemies, I will say. Mainly the first game has the more memorable enemies, but Manhunt 2 has a fair share of, I guess you could say, memorable enemies. But today I come to you guys with pure excitement because I do want to talk more about this game on the channel, and I have talked about it before on the channel. And hell, I even own some of the masks from the games. Some smiling masks and one innocent mask. I made a unboxing and review of all these masks. Go check them out. I'll leave a link down screen below. These masks are made by one person named Bedlam Effects. I go to him for a lot of my masks, and he's actually the creator of the new Dreadface mask, so definitely check that dude out. I'll leave a link to his store. I would hands down recommend him. But you must be wondering, why are we here? What is this video? Well, it's a video about Manhunt 3 and why I think we need one. So, yeah, this is why I think we need a Manhunt 3. Before I fully delve into this topic, let me talk a little bit about my history with this game. The first time I ever saw Manhunt was just the front cover of it, with the hockey mask and stuff, and then the back. I never actually saw gameplay at the time that I first saw this box art, but I was about like, I think 7 or 8 when I first saw this box art, and being a kid, I was wondering, what the fuck is this? What game is this? I wasn't allowed to play it at the time because the game actually didn't even belong to me, it belonged to my uncle. I was allowed to play graphic games like Grand Theft Auto and Scarface The World Is Yours, but I was over at my aunt's and things worked a little bit different over there, and over there, I wasn't allowed to play it. But I was so intrigued with this box art, and when I was a kid, I saw the Rockstar logo, and I was like, is this a horror open world game? And that's really what sprouted my excitement for Manhunt, was that mystery of, is it an open world game? What is this game? Fast forward to when I'm 10, right? I get Manhunt 2. I don't even know what even made me want this game, but I was just in a Blockbuster, yeah, back when Blockbuster's still around, and I was looking at like the games and stuff, and I just happened to see Manhunt on the shelf, and I was like, what is this? and I grabbed it, and I was actually intrigued, and I wanted it for whatever reason. And later on, my mom found out that it was banned in a few countries, but she didn't take it away from me or anything, because she knew that I understood the difference between real life and video games. So she didn't mind that I had this game. But man, if she saw how gory it was, I don't know. But for the most part, I played through it. I loved it. And about a year or two later, I found Manhunt at a pawn shop, and I got it because at the time I had never played Manhunt 1. I only saw the box art. When I played Manhunt 1, I don't like it as a kid. To me, it just seemed like a very complicated game and seemed a bit hard for me at the time. Fast forward to when I'm older and I get Manhunt 1 for PS4 because they added it, and now I have a way fonder found respect for Manhunt 1. When I was a kid, I didn't really like Manhunt 1, and I loved Manhunt 2. Now, I love Manhunt 1, and I still do for the most part like Manhunt 2. In my opinion, they're both great games, and I really want another entry. For me, the Manhunt series is literally a slasher film if it was a video game. Or say like The Purge before The Purge ever existed, really. But I overall just appreciate these games, and I know that some people definitely don't like them because they're really gory, and there's a lot of people against them, and always people trying to boycott them because they think that video games cause violence, and I think that's just a stupid argument made by stupid people. So I just try to ignore those kooks. You see, you could commit crimes in a video game and there's no real repercussions because it's a fucking video game. So obviously if I want to screw around and shoot rocket launchers at cars, then I'm gonna play GTA. Or say if I want to harm people but don't actually want to kill anyone, then I'll play Manhunt. If I want to crash over the goddamn place and race across town, I'll play Midnight Club. And so, I just wanted to get that off my chest real quick. Video games are not comparable to real life. I don't get why people always try to make it seem like video games are a big issue and are the reason why people are running around murdering people. That shit's been happening for years, way before video games even existed. But I'm getting sidetracked. Let's talk about why we should get a Manhunt 3. For starters, better fucking graphics. And the gore physics, man, nowadays they have a fucking wicked ass gore system. Let's use Red Dead Redemption 2 as an example, which by the way, Red Dead Redemption 2, phenomenal fucking game. If you have not played it, go play it. But just look at how gory this game is. It's a fucking cowboy game. You can literally blow people's heads apart. You can blow people's limbs off. If Manhunt had a gore system like this, oh my god. I know that the people that give out the ratings probably wouldn't be down for that, but man, just think of the possibilities. I mean, I think it'd be cool to see these kind of gore effects in GTA, but we already know that they're not gonna add those in. I mean, hell, we haven't gotten a GTA game with head explosions since the 3D era of GTA games, before the HD era. These gore effects in Red Dead Redemption 2 would be great in a Manhunt game. And who knows, maybe Rockstar made these gore effects for the sheer fact that they eventually want to make a Manhunt 3. I mean, now they're more accepting and more acknowledging of the Manhunt games nowadays than they used to be. I mean, you could buy the masks to GTA Online, the masks from the original Manhunt. But to go on, we could also see elaborated gameplay in a Manhunt 3. More executions and stealth mechanics. They can literally make Manhunt 3 more complex just based on how the tools are for video game developing as nowadays. How there could be combat executions, like while you're like hand-to-hand combat, maybe there could be a point where you could just straight up execute them after wounding them a bunch, you know? They could fucking go balls to the walls with the weapons as well. Just imagine all the different kinds of weapons that they added to the game. And that plus everything from the other games coming back into one badass sequel. And hell, they could do a more developed story with creepier enemies and more immersive voice acting. They could bring James Earl Cash back into the franchise and conclude his story. Maybe he could be the main character, or maybe he could just be a cameo. And he's not very well known, but the main villain of the first game isn't really the director, Lionel Starkweather. It's actually some dude named Mr. Nasty. He's kind of the one behind everything, in a way. And it'd be cool to see him back as the main villain for a Manhunt 3. That'd be fucking sick. But hell, with this said, they could do creepier hunters. Maybe even incorporate the clowns. They were a cut gag from Manhunt 1. And maybe even they could make this an open world game. Remember when I said that I thought that Manhunt 1 was literally an open world game just because of the Rockstar logo? Imagine if Manhunt 3 was open world and it was set in like an abandoned town or something, overrun by these different gangs. And in a way, it'd be a more true horror experience than the first two, in a way. Because, I mean, yeah, you'd be brutally murdering these enemies, but at the same time, you'd also have to keep a close eye behind your back. And you know, maybe this could be an extra mode, but what if they made a Manhunt Battle Royale mode? Or like an asymmetrical Manhunt mode? Just for Manhunt 3. I think it'd be cool to see a multiplayer mode in Manhunt 3. Yeah, it'd be cool to see it as either a Battle Royale mode or an asymmetrical mode. If you guys don't know what the genre of asymmetrical horror games is, it's pretty much where one or a group of people play as like the killers and there's like a group of survivors and they have to survive. Like pretty much like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. It'd be cool to see a Manhunt mode for a Manhunt 3 like that. And yeah, they'd have to make it work in a way to where it fits Manhunt, and I have actually a few ideas. If you guys want to hear them all, I could make a video sometime. Just leave a like on this video and let me know. Do I really think that Manhunt 3 will ever get made? Probably not, unfortunately. I would love to see a Manhunt 3, and who knows? Maybe we could see one, because I know there's speculations of a Bully 2, which would be fucking great. But at the same time, it's like, Rockstar's forgetting about everything that isn't GTA or Red Dead. And now I guess Rockstar is being run by people who, for some reason, want to make GTA less edgy, which, that was the whole point of GTA. Like, that's a big point of GTA, is having it be edgy and having, like, edgy humor in there, and it just sets the vibe in the world of GTA, and it just doesn't make much sense that they kind of just want to get rid of that. That's just a rumor, though. I'm not even sure if that's really true, but that's just what I heard. And I hope that's really not the case, because a lot of Rockstar's games have a don't give a fuck attitude, and I feel like they should just stick to that. It sets them apart from other developers. But I will say, it's not fully impossible to see a Manhunt 3, and here's why. For starters, they're acknowledging that the Manhunt games do exist because of GTA Online having the masks in the game, and people who are longtime fans of Rockstar will definitely recognize those. Areas from Manhunt have been referenced in the story of GTA 5 as well.
Mikey, bro, what was your first bank score?
88, outskirts of Carcer City. Took a small franchise for 10G. Yeah, things were easier back then.
Oh, and if that isn't enough, Manhunt 1 is available for backwards compatibility on Xbox now, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, yeah, it was added on PS4 a little while ago, way before it was added onto Xbox, but you guys get the point. But I just feel like the media is more in the way of a Manhunt 3 being made. Just the way that the media likes to twist things. Literally, the news called Manhunt 2 a murder simulator because it was on Wii, and they made a big old fuss about it. They made a whole fucking story about it.
Many hardcore gamers interviewed say the game just crosses the line, that it is the most violent stuff they have ever seen. And here's partially why. Here's the Wii, for example. Players are required to act out murder, stabbings, even torture and strangulation, all with this little thing. So you kind of have to imagine, of course, the impact.
When you play this game on Wii, as opposed to Nintendo or PlayStation, you actually do the stabbing. So you grab the knife, you are over your victim, plunging the knife into the victim as you play the game.
Should we parents be worried for real?
We should be very worried, especially in the wake of all the school shootings. This game simulates violence, negativity, sadism, and torture. And we know from other research that every school shooter that we've had in the past is going to emphasize things like invincibility and grandiosity, which this game teaches.
Is there a control that actually would stop a child or limit a child from a mature video game in your home? Is there a parental control?
No, not for video games, not at all.
The parental control is you choosing whether or not to buy the game for your child, you moron. And they painted Manhunt 2 in this terrible light, like, oh, well, you know, why are parents buying their kids these games? Well, maybe you should look at the rating on the fucking box. It says rated M. It doesn't say rated E. It doesn't say rated T. Hell, the fucking case does not say rated EC for early childhood. It's rated M. I don't know, some parents just don't understand the concept of ratings on games, so I'm sorry. But in my opinion, Rockstar really shouldn't give much of any fucks about what the media has to say. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Rockstar runs off of publicity. It's a big selling point for some of their games, and, I mean, it's free promotion, and if you don't let the media stop what you want to do in regards to trying to get these games shut down, it'll only increase the sales because people want to buy those games because they're like, oh, well, what's the fuss about? And it'll make people want to buy the games. I mean, honestly, just screw them. Make the fucking game anyway, you know? Don't let the media get in the way. I mean, a lot of people still to this day ask for a Manhunt 3, and I would fucking love a Manhunt 3. As a big fan of the franchise, I would love one. So please make one. I mean, the media tries to drag them through the mud all the time anyway, so it's just, you know, do you. Make the game, and if they want to talk about it, let them go for it. And, like I said, free publicity. I mean, yeah, it's controversial, but it's free advertisement. And, you know, since Manhunt 1's PC port is broken, unless you use patches, that is. And Manhunt 2's PC port is literally unattainable unless you use a cracked version of Manhunt 2, which some people don't know how to do, and if you're not careful enough, you could get a virus from that. But due to those things, right, I really hope Rockstar releases a Manhunt collection, including Manhunt 1 and 2, for both PC and console, and update the graphics a little bit, you know, HD remaster, and make the games fully working for both PC and console. And that would be a pretty good way to get people into the franchise before possibly making a Manhunt 3. I mean, they'll have to do like what they did with the definitive edition of GTA, where they just like, literally, they changed so much. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't hate the definitive edition versions of the 3D era GTA games, but I see a lot of people don't like them, and I'm not asking for them to do that much for Manhunt. Just update the textures a little bit, make them more high quality, and that's all. Leave it at that. I think that'd be a really cool idea for a Manhunt collection, and maybe they could call it the Manhunt Definitive Edition. I don't know. It's up to them. I think it'd just be cool to see slightly updated versions of both those games. I would pay full price for a Manhunt Definitive Edition. I'm that big of a fan of Manhunt. I just don't want to see the Manhunt franchise get forgotten because, in my opinion, these games don't deserve to get forgotten. They're so ahead of their time, and if they made a third game, there's just so much they could do. I think that us fans that love this game and still support it and talk about it to this day, I think we deserve a third game. And I do really want to see a third game. And Rockstar, if you're watching this, you know, please make a third game. I know that you might not want to because of the media, and it'd be a lot of publicity for your company, but all publicity is good publicity in a way. And if you get the world talking about another Manhunt, that shit could be successful. This video is for everyone that wants to see a Manhunt 3, and it's a letter to Rockstar that we love Manhunt 3, and we do really want to see it return. And if you want to see it return too, leave a like on this video. Send this video to Rockstar. Maybe they'll see it. Maybe they'll agree with everything I'm saying. Maybe they'll just think I'm too into Manhunt. I don't know. I can't predict what they're thinking. But, you know, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like. and subscribe for more content, and definitely subscribe to become Slasher. All social media links and my merch description below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video on Manhunt 3 and why I think we need a new one. I'm a big fan of these games, and I genuinely do want to see the franchise make a comeback, and I think if Rockstar does it right, I think a Manhunt 3 could be a big fucking hit. But I'm out of here, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget guys, to keep on slashing.